Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we have heaps of new Edge of Eternities reveals. I am very, very excited about these. These are revealed prior to the debut stream tomorrow, so we probably get even more tomorrow. So this is pretty cool because the set just looks absolutely stellar, mind the pun, but it's just, I love it. It's just really looking really awesome. So we have a whole bunch of different new mechanics. We have the new art. We have the special guest as well. And this is coming from techraptor.net. They posted this up today. So let's go through. Before we do, I've got a video up here that has everything to know about the Edge of Eternities before the debut tomorrow. And if you are liking the content, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share the video around, all that kind of stuff. As well as if you want to support, you can become a member or buy a game mat over at Quokka, get 10% off, as well as, support the channel. So let's go through the new mechanics. First up, we have Station here. So this is tap another creature you control, put charge counters equal to its power on this whatever planet or spacecraft, and then they get abilities based off of how many charge counters. So this one has 12, and it gets an ability based off of having 12 plus charge counters. So let's have a look. We've got the Eternity Elevator here, which has tap for 3 colorless, and then once you've stationed it enough, it becomes just a huge mana rock. Add X mana of any color, where X is the number of charge counters on it. So it can get up to, once it got 20 plus, it's just going to be able to tap for like 20 plus mana. It's really cool. We've got the Extinguisher Battleship. Whenever this enters, destroy target non-creature permanent. Then it deals 4 damage to each creature. It's also got Station, except this one here is a spacecraft. So it actually has a power and toughness over here. So once you get 5 charge counters onto it, it's going to become a creature with flying and trample, and it's a 10/10. We've got Orthros Titanic God Core. So this is, once it gets to 12, it's going to become like a Tolarian Academy. Tap for blue for each artifact you control. And then finally, we've got Sasa Sekindi Void Altar. So it taps for black, and then it's got Station, and then it's got, once it's got 12 plus, pay 1 and a black, tap it, pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, and then you draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Into the new mechanic as well, the Warp. So this one here is like an alternate cost, essentially. You can play the card for its Warp cost. It comes in, and then at the beginning of the next end step, you're going to exile it, and then you can cast it from exile on a later turn. It appears on only permanents so far. So, there's the Eldrazi here that you can see. Eldrazi, and it's kind of like Dash, essentially. However, it doesn't come in with haste, so you've got to keep that in mind. Mostly of the cards will have either ETBs or LTBs, so when it enters the battlefield, do something. When it leaves the battlefield, do something. And then you can cast it later from exile for like its full cost. So this one here, you cast for 4, and then you can cast it for 6 for later. So that Eldrazi there, it has whenever it leaves the battlefield, draw a card, then you can put a mana card with mana value, a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. That's really cool. It's got, this one here is Estelia Reclaimer. When it enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast it. So normally when you cast it for your warp cost, it's going to be 3. So you return something with 3 or less. And then it can get up to 5 once you cast it again from exile, or you can just, you can just raw cast it for that as well if you wanted to. We've got the Exalted Sunborn, and I love this one. Oh God. This is a mythic from the set. It's got, if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens are created. It's an angel wizard. It's just really cool. And you could get it out turn 2 if you wanted to, if you had something to create tokens from turn 2. Yeah, I like that a lot. We've got Helia, Guided of Light. So this is a legendary creature. They have whenever Helia or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain a life. And then at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life. You can also warp them for just paying 1 white too. Starfield Shepherd, when it enters, search your battlefield for a basic plains or a creature card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. We've got Mechanozoa, a robot jellyfish. When it enters, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. We've got Nova Hellkite. When it enters, deal 1 damage to target creature an opponent controls. And then we've got Quantum Riddler here. Flying. When it enters, draw a card. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many cards plus 1 instead. It's also a Sphinx as well. It's like a space Sphinx. That's so cool. We've got Red Tiger Mechan here with haste. This one has haste, 1 and a red for its warp cost. Starfield Vocalist. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. So like a Panharmonicon there. Star Breach Whale, I believe this is the last one here. When it enters, Surveil 2. And you can pay this for 1 and a blue, which means like you can cast it for its warp cost for 1 and a blue. Unfortunately, you don't have haste, but it's still 3/5 that you get out, right? So if you've got ways to be able to utilize that, boom, it's huge. And then they've also got cards to make use of cards in exile, like this new Goyf, Cosmo Goyf. If this creature's power is equal to the number of cards you own in exile, and its toughness is equal to that +1. That's really cool. That is really cool. It's not going to work very well in my Disa deck, but who knows? It's really cool. It's still a Goyf, right? Then we've got the new mechanic Void. So this one here is like a fixed version of Revolt. It has whenever you do something, you get something extra if a non-land permanent has left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn. So if you warp your own spell, boom. So we've got like Elegy, Acolyte here, Lifelink. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card, you lose 1 life. And then at the beginning or end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. And then we've got Tragic Trajectory here. So that's like a, what is it? Tragic Slip kind of thing. Target creature gets -2/-2, or you get -10/-10 if you do that non-land permanent leaves. We've also got new lander tokens. These are a predefined token. That means essentially they have their ability wrapped into whatever token it is. It's just create a land token. And that ability is you pay 2, tap it, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped. So there's also ways to be able to abuse this, you know, whether you can cast it for cheaper, like sacrifice it for cheaper, you know, use these tokens for other things, etc. This Biotech Specialist makes it so that whenever you sacrifice an artifact, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. And then when it ETBs, it creates that lander. We've got Galactic Wayfarer here. When it enters, create a lander. Pretty easy, common from the set. And then we've got the Cav Land Seeker here. It's got Menace. When it enters, create a lander. And then at the beginning of the end step of your next turn, sacrifice that token. So you got to really make use of that lander on your next turn. That's cool. Other miscellaneous ones, we've got Thrumming Hive Pool here. Affinity for Slivers. Slivers you control get double strike and haste, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, create 2 1/1 colorless sliver creature tokens. I'll never escape this rock, but I fear they will. That is really cool. That's really interesting. So we've got Slivers here as, you know, a part of the set. We kind of talked about this potentially just being like, you know, granting Slivers an ability rather than being like a new Sliver card. And it seems that's what we've got, except it does create Slivers too. We've got Borderless Surreal Space Alt Art cards. So this is like, yeah, you can see it. It's like surrealism kind of thing. This one here is a new one that we haven't seen so far. Mutinous Massacre. You choose odd or even. Destroy each creature with mana value of the chosen quality. Then gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them. Then they gain haste. The Nova Hellkite that we saw earlier. That big space Nexus Dragon. We've got the Quantum Ribbler. The Sphinx. The Rust Harvester here. This one has Menace, pay 2, tap it, exile an artifact card from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. And it's also only costs 1, which is interesting too. We've got Terra Symbiosis here. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, you may draw that many cards. Do this only once each turn. We've also got this special guest here, notably a Sliver Overlord. Yeah, Sliver Overlord. So this is Mages of the Moon, Nexus of Fate, Paradox Haze, Sliver Overlord, and Warping Whale. So these are the 5 that they showed off there. We don't know if there's any more. Assumedly there's more. There's usually 10 of them in total. And let's see, there's 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 8, 119. Yeah, assumedly there's 10 of them in total because this one's 119. And the highest one here is 128. We've also got Borderless Poster Stellar Sights cards. Mana Confluence here. We've got Gemstone Caverns there. High Market, and then Celestial Colonnade. This is the bonus sheet that's going to show up. And it looks like there's like, about 70, I think there's 45 of them. Yeah, I believe there's 45 of them. So let me know what you guys think. That is a huge, huge amount of reveals. Let me know. Have a great day and goodbye.